So, did you see any of the developers' announcements video today about Shadowlands?
No, I don't watch it.
Lots of stuff are coming down the pipe. Lot of stuff. It was actually pretty
Actually,
good. It was actually really good. There's a lot. They've addressed a lot of stuff and made some cool announcements.
so they basically just said we're done with BFA. We don't want to do this anymore, and we're going to do new things now.
Oh yeah, I mean that was pretty much that was evident when before 8.3 came, in my opinion anyway,
Yeah,
without a doubt. Very now, I don't know, man. I didn't have a problem. I thought BFA was good.
I did too. I thought it was
I
great
thought it was,
up until 8.3, and
they,
8.3 just kind of
yeah. I mean, well, it's just ridiculous to try. It got really repetitive, really fast, and God help you if you try to level any number of alts. Because the cloak grind alone and the Azerite grind alone to make them viable in anything other than like LFR is redonk.
Yeah, you can really only. I mean, you can solo your cloak to level 5,
Yeah,
and that's really about it.
yeah. I mean, I've gotten mine. I've pretty much soloed mine. Mine's now level 7, rank 7.
Mhm.
And the last couple of times I've been in there, I did it by myself. I soloed them. Even what you and I did the other day, the that left side in Orgrimmar,
Mhm.
I soloed that. And I did
Okay.
it twice, and I got my 2 pieces, and I got my rank 7. I got it. I need to do that again, and I'll get rank 8. So that's okay. Yeah, and Jen just said she did every rank solo up to rank 15.
Hmm.
So it's doable, and it's fun, because it keeps you on your toes. It's challenging content.
Sure.
And that's one of the things they talked about today. Because do you know anything about Torghast?
I know that name, but that's about it.
Okay, so Torghast is the new, or the equivalent of the Mage Tower from Legion, where you could go in and run different versions based on specs and roles and class roles. And there were achievements, and it got harder and harder, and you unlocked transmog, and you unlocked titles, and it was just really fun content that was ever challenging.
Mhm.
Torghast is a castle. It's the inversion of Icecrown Citadel. Like in the cinematic, when you see Sylvanas rip apart the veil, that mirror image of Icecrown, that's Torghast.
Right.
So you can go in there now. They just revealed today until your heart's content. Back in the alpha, they had a cap on it, and it was tied to power progression. But now they lifted the cap, and you can run in there solo. You can run in with groups, and the beautiful part about it is no 2 runs are the same. So basically, you enter on the ground floor and you work your way up, level by level. And you get different. Sometimes you'll get this affix. Sometimes you'll get that affix. One week you'll have this. Some days you'll have that. So yeah, it sounds really, really, really fun. So they listened to feedback, and they're not going to put a cap on it, and they're not tying it to hard mode in-game progression, where you go in and you got to do it, and then your alts have to do it,
Mhm.
and it's the same crap over and over. So that's good. That is a very good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what else. Let me pull up my little screen here. Let's see. Yeah, they pretty much guaranteed. What's up, Trey? How's it going, buddy? So it's going to launch in the fall, which is a still pretty big window, but I'm still guessing November. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion of it. But technically, fall is in September through the right before Christmas. They announced that there's a lot of new systems in Shadowlands, like
Yay, new systems.
yeah, I mean it's upgrading your covenant and upgrading. There's something within like your the anime, the life force power that powers the Shadowlands. You can reroute. Now, one thing they did say is you can do within the covenant that you choose as you gather anima power as you level and go through the expansion. You can, if you've gotten enough to do what you want to do, you can start funneling that anime to other zones as you unlock them. What's up, Nanmil4? Thanks for watching. You can funnel that to other zones that you've been to, and it's a phase content. So if you get to this zone and it's dead and lifeless, like in Ardenweald, and it's corrupted and decaying, you can start funneling your anime that you collect into that, and it revitalizes. So it's evergreen content. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Demonology Warlock Felguard can now interrupt with Axe Toss in Shadowlands. Interesting. Very interesting.
Shout up, man, shout up.
The Collector's Edition, the box set, looks absolutely amazing.
I want them to cut down on the currencies we have to track. I want them to cut down on time gating.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
We'll see.
That's really all I'm overly concerned with.
Yeah.
Like, can they just stop that nonsense?
Oh, Jen, your druid's fine, dear. You play whatever you want to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're in no we're not doing it. At least I'm not. I mean, we'll run a mythic if you guys want to, but
Yeah,
I'm in no rush to push 15s tonight.
No, I honestly, I just soon stay on my hunter. I mean, I've got a 6 key, or I can.
Yeah, I got a
some lower stuff on Shallow. Like, I don't care.
Let's see, what did I get? I got a plus 12. Yeah, a Tall Desire. See, I have no interest in running that right now. I want to knock it out before the week's over, but I don't want to do it tonight. We don't have to do it tonight. It's fine. No worries. Play what you want to play.
Yeah, I'm in the proving grounds right now, so like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Blizzard to get away from eye level and go to more, rather than having your gear be the only thing that determines how good you are or whatever. Like, do something a little different. Like, I'm not really sure even how to phrase it, but just rather than just, oh, you've got an eye level that's 10 points higher, therefore you're a better player. No, have it be more achievement based.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That seems to be a little. I think that would be a lot easier to differentiate talent from lack of talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nope. I got you. I gotcha. So let me. I'm gonna hit MMO Champion. Actually, I haven't been on MMO Champion in a long time. Let me get over there real quick. Go back to my just chatting. And let's see, because they usually have a more succinct breakdown of these announcement type vids.
I was listening to what you were saying in Twitch about like achievement based, and I think you would still have the same problem as now where people buy achievements.
True. I think that's. I mean, you're right. It's just like today. I'm a little frustrated, but like this little hunter, he's got a 451 eye level, and I'm consistently putting out solid DPS, but I cannot get into a mythic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like nope.
I think the problem is there's too much of a jump between gear. I think that if it was like it's like squished so that like there wasn't such a big difference between like a 10 mythic and a 50. You know,
right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You know, so think back to not necessarily vanilla, but even in before eye level became a thing, which I think eye level was introduced back in Wrath, right? If I remember correctly.
I think it's Cataclysm, I believe. There was no eye level in Wrath.
I don't remember it being even in game. I remember didn't you used to have an eye level
Right.
add-on?
Yeah. There used to be an add-on, so that's how people.
Yeah,
that
it
was,
wasn't even in game.
That's
yeah.
right. It was the original IO.
Right.
So, but you think back, how did people? Now, granted, we didn't have we didn't have mythic dungeons. We just had normal and heroic, starting in Burning Crusade, and we had no achievements. Achievements got introduced in Wrath. So
Achievements came in Wrath.
yeah, maybe Burning Crusade is what I'm looking for. How did players differentiate?
Reputation.
Yeah.
Reputation, because that was before the battle.
There you go.
That was before the battle groups.
There you
It was
go.
all
Yeah,
reputation.
but you have to socialize with people
Yep.
for that, and that
Yeah.
doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't need
No.
to. They've removed the infrastructure to do actual socialization and getting to know people, and
I remember like knowing the good people on your
Mm-hmm.
server.
absolutely.
Like you saw them in like guys like Stormwind, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like I know that guy. Like
Yeah.
and I maybe it's just something that I don't remember, but I don't remember people selling runs to
No.
stuff. That's like fairly new to me.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were clearing bosses, it's because you were clearing them, not because you were
Right.
like, okay, just talking about like, so I bought my ahead of the curve, like, because I wanted them out and I wanted the title.
Yeah.
We went in there on heroic in a group of 25 people because they sell it to a ton of people at a time. They have everybody die at the end, and there was only 8 people killing that boss. Like, how ridiculous is that? That 8 people
Yeah.
can kill a 25-man raid boss, and they're doing it every 15 minutes for $100 grand a pop.
Yeah.
It's because of the way Blizzard set up the Mythic dungeons. When you can chain Mythic 15 to Mythic 22, there's zero reason whatsoever to do it. Even Mythic raiding doesn't net the gear that a Mythic 17 dungeon will.
Yeah.
Right.
And those guys, there are people out there who don't charge for running mythics that can clear dungeons a lot faster than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just released an it's not an in-game achievement. It's just something to beat their chest about. But earlier today, the announcement came that a run of 25 tanks with jacked up corruption on their gear,
Right.
downed Mythic N'Zoth.
Yeah. I can
25
totally believe
tanks. I'm like, come on, man. That's so unfair.
I mean, that's funny. But
Yeah, it's funny.
It's
Good for
That's
them.
because it's gear based.
Yeah.
Ash and I had this conversation a couple weeks ago that this game isn't really even about skill. Like
it's
your
not.
gear
Yep.
can carry you.
Yes, it can.
When you can buy corruption abilities from other down in the heart chamber, like, what's the point? Just
Yep.
do a couple of quests and get what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to try for gear anymore. Well,
You don't.
you get doing the visions. You can get 470 gear. Like you literally can gear up in this game any way that you want to now.
Yep.
It's no.
Yeah. And you ask me, I could change my mind week to week. Sometimes I was like, that's cool that you can do that. That's cool. And then sometimes like, no, because you completely removed the MM part of the MMO. I mean, you just log in and you're playing Warcraft Solitaire at that point.
You are.
That's exactly what we do. You queue up for everything in an auto draft situation, and it doesn't even it just doesn't matter.
Nope.
Like we all play together.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I miss that. I miss like making friends when you're playing. You
Yep.
know, like you don't do that anymore. You queue up for even a mythic, even the hard mythics. People don't even talk in them.
Nope.
No, they don't.
When they should be.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of, I have many friends, most of which I've never met. Well, I'm talking to one right now that I've never met face to face.
Right.
But the last time, other than Jen, the last time I did that was back into the Burning Crusade.
Burning Crusade.
There's
Right.
no one that I've met in this game that I consider a
Right.
friend and that I would help in
Right.
real life
Right.
after
Yeah.
Burning Crusade.
Right.
Jen is the exception.
And
Well,
Wrath
we
was
didn't
my
even meet
favorite
in game.
expansion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we
Yeah,
didn't even meet in
met
game.
on Twitch.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
You know, you could have swiped
Yes.
left.
The battle groups changed everything.
Yeah.
It was the battle groups, man. The battle groups are the ones that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the position that they were in because you had servers and groups that were severely outnumbered based on whatever. I mean, there were just as many Horde outnumbered as there were Alliance.
Sure.
And I don't know how you fix that without merging them. Somehow, some way. I don't. Unless you just cut the cord and force them to migrate, but I wouldn't want my character forced to a forced migration either. So, I don't know how you fix that. But what they did removed a key component to what made this game famous
Yeah.
and broke the mold for other MMOs. So, I don't know.
I just dude. I remember the day the battle groups went live. Was the day we stopped. I couldn't get a group for AV.
Yeah, and that's probably what broke the add-on.
Well, no, that's not what broke the add-on. Blizzard changed code in an update toward the end of Burning Crusade after the battle groups. But dude, I'm telling you, like, I remember it. It was ugly. Like, that stuff happened, and it was, dude. I mean, it was overnight.
Yeah.
Like, because I went from getting 15, 16 messages every single time I logged in, to nothing.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was phased at that point.
Mm-hmm. And now we don't even have the ability to put that back in game. In Classic.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so sad too. Like, your friends list, like, there is no need for it.
Right, exactly. No, there's not.
I was
there's not.
just thinking about it also. Any other than you guys, anybody that I would consider a WoW friend would have been Wrath or prior to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at I got people still on my friends list that hasn't logged on in years.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is, yeah.
It's so weird. Like, it's such a fun game. It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Honestly, it's been a part of our lives for 25 years.
Absolutely.
But it's just, I do have moments of extreme frustration. Like, I still miss having those moments in Burning Crusade where it was just, like we just would wreck everything that moved.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it would take for me to, like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. I'm never playing this game again. I don't know if they could ever do anything that would make me do that. I mean, it would have to be something pretty heinous. So I'm always going to be here, and I'll always play the game because, well, I mean, it's a massive time sink, and I put a lot of freaking time into it.
Right.
And I'm not just going to willy-nilly get emotionally charged over something and, call it a day. But I mean, that means I've got to be more vocal about it and let them know. It's like, okay, this is my opinion, because I rarely do that, and maybe I should do more of that.
I don't want faction realignment, and I know that's probably coming.
Dude, it's coming.
I don't want it.
It's coming. I mean, it's just my hot take on it, But just knowing what we now know and knowing how they're setting up the story of the game, moving through Shadowlands, I don't see how they can not do it. And it's not going to be a faction realignment. It's going to be a complete dissolving of what we know as factions.
Right.
I mean, I
think it's coming to...
Alliance and Horde are going to completely go away, and it's going to be Light and Shadow / Void, and
I agree.
Everybody's going to get to pick a side.
I think that's absolutely, because I've said the same thing for a while.
Now, you know, that's 2.5 years away,
Maybe.
but that's going to be your WoW 3.0. Cataclysm was 2.0. That's going to be WoW 3.0, without a doubt.
I don't know. I felt like Legion was 2.0.
No, man. When they broke the world and redesigned how classes played, including talent trees, that was
nuts.
That was a brand new game.
Yeah.
With Warcraft slapped on the box, which is fine because Cataclysm was okay. I mean, but it was someone that logged out and Burning Crusade and logged back in and Cataclysm, their brains would have melted.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing.
I think that like forced everybody to be very cookie cutter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yep,
you know,
it did.
like there is a right, like just right now we're talking about like specs and stuff like that, and talent trees. Like there is a right talent tree and there is a wrong talent tree. Like, you know, if you're gonna be a holy priest, these are the talents that you're gonna have. Like, why even give you a choice?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
It is the fallacy of choice that almost every game descends into.
Yep.
And it's such a weird thing that almost every single game eventually ends up putting that fallacy out there. And it's not even it's kind of it's a weird concept, but it's the God's honest truth. The more choices you have, the less you have.
Yep.
Because there's clearly a right way to do it at that point.
And that's the big fear coming into Shadowlands, right? Because of the covenants.
Right.
Because you get to choose. When you hit max level, you get to choose which covenant you want to join.
Right.
And they've
said easy to swap them.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's not. They're making it a little easier than we originally thought it would be. But as I was watching Asmongold earlier today on his stream, and he put up a poll in chat, and it got about 15,000 votes in chat. It's like the poll was five options for the poll. It's like, which covenant are you going to join? And he listed the 4 covenants, and then the 5th option was whichever one gives me the most DPS for the higher level mythic rate and mythic content, in-game content.
That's the one everybody picked.
And that was 60% of the vote. And then he took the results of that poll and he tweeted the Warcraft dev team and Ian Hazakostas and said, please pay attention to this because you've got to make sure these things are balanced and it's not cookie cutter. You know, it's got to almost be aesthetic.
Right.
And not based on any power progression at all.
Right.
Which was the major problem with garrisons. And why player housing, when and if they ever put it in game, should not be tied to any leveling process or any quest chains or any type of power progression. It should be purely aesthetic. And that's what they got to do, or they're going to be in the same boat they're in now.
Yep.
That they, you know, in 2 years, 2.5 years.
Maybe they don't care.
No, I think they care, right? At the end of the day, they want to make money, sure, but they're not dumb.
Here's the thing.
They've got to make a product that the majority of people like, or they're not going to make money.
They will. Everybody will play it for 2 years, and it'll be the same thing with BFA. That people will simply fall away and wait on the new expansion after Shadowlands.
That's always the risk.
Except for the people that would be falling away now, those are the people that are just sitting back and farming gold, doing runs. You know, those are the people that would have been quitting, and now they're just sitting here making money by running.
Yep.
Yep.
I actually was thinking about pulling Shala and being like, I'll gear your alts, I'll run mythics, I'll run your keys up through like Mythic 6, gear your baby tunes.
Yeah.
Like it'll be 500 gold a piece.
That's cheap, man.
I mean,
That's cheap.
it is cheap. Yeah, but I mean, if I'm making 2-3 grand a mythic run, like, why do I care?
Yeah.
Like, remember when trade chat used to actually be like finding groups? Well, or that. But like, I'm just looking at it now and just scrolling. Every single thing is somebody selling a run for something. Like, there's no communication anymore.
But yeah, that was the most communication I had. Like, I'm in Stormwind now, and there's nothing in trade chat. I just got back. So,
just runs like selling mythics 10 through 20, like selling ahead of the curve, selling mounts. Nobody even looks for people to join their guilds anymore.
No, they don't.
yeah,
Yeah, Adam and I were talking about that the other night. It's like guilds mean nothing anymore.
they don't. Well, I mean, you can't, because of the way the battle groups are set up and phasing. Like, I can't even give you an enchant.
Yeah.
Jen.
Right.
I can't even. So, like, if you're gonna have me play with people from Storm Rage,
Right.
Brawlmar, all these other servers, at least make it so that I can completely interact with them.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it's so random. Like, it's just sometimes I can, like when Jen and I do runs, like the old raids, farming mounts, and we get transmog items, we can switch them back. Well, I can trade them to her.
But it's because you're in the same group.
But you can't give her an enchant.
Yeah, like a conjure name. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. But you can trade that only because you're in the same group. Like, remove the group restriction. Let us take pre-mades into battlegrounds.
Yeah. Well, I really wish they would do that. That would be amazing if they would let us do pre-mades again.
What is it? Is it 5 people now?
10.
Is that the max?
It's
10. It has to be rated.
Yeah. Yep.
It has to be rated. So unless you're prepared to go in there with people who are seriously into it for the, like for the rating, so that they get gear and mounts and all the other things that you get from titles, running, rated battlegrounds, like, you're gonna get wrecked unless you're doing the same thing. Like, let me take 20 of my buddies into AV. Why can't I do that? Let's just have a good time.
Because nobody has 20 friends on.
I mean, it's fair, but you know what I'm saying. But you could make a group.
Yeah.
In the LFG thing, and be like, Alterac Valley pre-made. Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
that would be nice. Oh, it would be nice.